Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Sakhir HD Gaming. Here we are in Bahrain for round number 2. I hope you enjoyed the first round and I hope you enjoyed the second round without the commentary in Bahrain. So if you've seen the video already, this is the commentated version of the Bahrain race where I'm going to talk a little bit more about what actually happened in the race and hopefully make it a little bit more exciting, because I don't think that sometimes I get across how exciting it is in these races sometimes. That was the engineer there bringing us the upgrade, saying we've got 5 kilogram chassis weight reduction, so hopefully that'll be a little bit quicker for us and it'll give us a bit more balance and a little bit more stability in the car and just make us a bit lighter, so we'll go a little bit faster. And you can see there as well we were choosing the softer tyre compound, so we're going a little bit more aggressive in this weekend, and it's hopefully going to give us some sort of advantage in qualifying. Especially Bahrain is a track where you need quite hard tyres, because it's really hard on the tyre wear, especially in the braking zones and the traction zones. But we've gone for soft compounds, just try and be a little bit quicker. Because you've got to remember, this car, we've only had one race this season, and this car is absolutely rubbish. It's not a good car. We've got low power on the engine, we've got a sort of a decent chassis, but it's not really that great, and we're still sort of in the lower midfield areas. Even with that upgrade, we're sitting around Haas and Toro Rosso and below the Williams and along with Force India. So we're going to practice one here, and it's funny how many things you learn in the first few races of the season, how quickly you learn things in this game, and it helps you get quicker. And practice is, especially on a 100% race where you do 100% career mode, practice is so important. It's where you can get the car set up right and just get the balance of the car, and a good work in practice and putting the laps in, it really does help in terms of how quick you can go in the race. In practice we won't tend to get the kind of the out and out lap time that you would in qualifying, but that's because the track's just not gripped up, and it seems like the AI on the game, they kind of get the grip early on, and they can go quick early on because they don't have to find the grip, they've already got it. Whereas in practice you'll see that you kind of have low grip to start with, and it builds up over the weekend. So even if your practice time is not really kind of where qualifying is, if it's not that quick, it will arrive in qualifying. You'll find at least half a second, maybe. Some tracks you'll find a second. But this is the actual practice session for the it's the track acclimatization, and we've got on the medium tyres. And as I said in the first race in Australia, the lap times here aren't that important. It's more or less getting the lap times in. Sorry, more or less getting the stability of the car and the balance of the car before we go into the later qualifying sessions and the later practice sessions. So you can see here we're hitting all the purples at the moment. We had a little bit of a lock-up in the first sector, just after the first sector. We're being chased by a car into the final sector, and I'm not quite sure who it is, but they're closing right up to us. They've already got their balance and they've already got a more stable car, but we put in a lot of work in this weekend on the car to make sure it's quick. To say, because we haven't improved much at all from Australia, and it's Carlos Sainz going flying past us, so he's still got a better car than us at this point in the season, but he kind of wrecks our track acclimatization by doing an overtake on us, and meaning that we can't get the power down. So that's how that ended, and that's us coming into the pit lane. Our fastest lap time is almost 3 seconds off Kimi Räikkönen at this point. You see we've done 10 laps, and say the lap times don't matter at all. We are looking for a balance in the car, and you learn so many things about the setup of the car just from practicing. And I think especially the next round in China and in Sochi, we've learned so much that we get a really good balance for the car, and it really does pay out in terms of lap times and just the race in general. In our first race, I think it was 13th we finished, so we're aiming to close the gap to Fernando. That's the first thing, because the gap we got to Fernando Alonso is absolutely, in the first race it was about 17 seconds, because we pitted in and went for some super soft tyres at the end of the Australian Grand Prix, but he then retired, but we wouldn't have caught him. He had the speed on us in the first race, and our first goal is to kind of rein Fernando in, and I'm hoping this will be the last race you'll see Fernando Alonso anywhere near us for the rest of the season, and unless crazy stuff happens like wet weather and safety cars and virtual safety cars and crashes and penalties, I think it's going to be the last time you're going to see Fernando anywhere near us in this season, because we are going to work to make sure he's always behind us in the race, and a long way behind if we can. So we've shot the soft tyres onto the car, and we're going for a little bit of a run. You see a big oversteer moment there, and we should be improving quite a lot. Obviously I think we've already done a 135.1, and that will be on the soft tyres as well. But now we've got only 3 laps of fuel. We've done 1 lap on these tyres, so I think this is the second of the flying laps. You can see here as well with front brake bias, at the minute it's at 57% and also the differentials at 90%. We do change those things up a little bit for the weekend. One thing I've noticed as well is you might be tempted to go with higher downforce on some tracks than you actually need, whereas you've got to remember during practice that the track isn't gripped up, so you've got to think ahead to qualifying and make sure, especially with this McLaren in this career mode, that we're running as low downforce as possible, because as you'll know from real life and on from this game, that the McLaren engine, the Honda engine that's in the back of the car, is absolutely terrible at the start of the season, and we need to upgrade that to be anywhere near the front of the grid. But as I said, the chassis is not that great either. It's okay, but it's not anything to write home about, and it's definitely not in the same league as Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari in the first part of the season. And it kind of shows up, especially in the race, when we're running around the race, we've got a big gap to the Ferraris and the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. So that's me just kind of looking at Fernando's times there. You can see he's kind of got a 1:34.4 on the mediums, so it's me going like, wow, that's a good time in practice, but obviously we will get quicker. And this is just our resource points here, so you can see we've passed 2 of the 5 objectives, we haven't got any penalties, and we've got a few resource points. So on to practice 2, and it's a little bit darker now because it's obviously in the evening. You can see we're not improving on our current lap time that we've done, so we did a 1:35, I think it was in the first practice there we just saw. So we're going for a little bit of a longer run. You can see the fuel's a little bit higher, we've got 10 laps of fuel on board, and we're just going to try and run the rich mix for a while and see how fast we can go with a little bit heavier fuel load on the soft tyres. You can see we've moved the front brake bias down to 54%. We've moved the differential to 85%, so we've got a little bit easier on the diff and a little bit reared on the brakes because we weren't getting the oversteer we wanted through the corners. We were getting a little bit understeery. We're climbing all over the curves. We've got a little bit more confidence in this session in our car, so we're climbing over the curves in the first and second sector. I'm trying to get the power down out of this corner. I think we're following a Haas there, so there's a Haas just ahead of us. It's Gutierrez. And we see we're up on time. Getting a good exit from that corner is very important because it leads you all the way down this straight, and then it leads you into a fast left-hander where you've got to get the nose of the car in, but you can lose time down that straight if you don't get a good exit onto the straight. And getting the traction there is important because you get a lot more time if you get the traction down, and you really want to be going flat in 7th gear around that corner in qualifying, but in practice we're carrying a bit heavier fuel and soft tyres, so we can't go as flat as we want to. See, we're keeping up with this Haas car reasonably well right now. Down to 3rd gear. Got a little bit to the curb on the outside, so we ran over the curves. We didn't want to do that really. We're using the slipstream from Gutierrez coming towards the line, and we've improved by about a 1/10, just over a 1/10, to a 1:34.591. So heading down to the first corner here. We're following Gutierrez still. I don't know if we continue this lap if we... yeah, so we cut to later in the session, and we're on the super soft tyres now. So that 1:34.5 that we had on the soft tyres, that stands. And now we've got quite a low fuel load. We've got 5.5 laps of fuel on board, and we're just trying to improve this time. Just see, this is kind of like a sighter lap on the super soft to see kind of how fast we can go on the super softs in practice. So you can see we're already 3.5 tenths up. There's a lot more grip, obviously, because it turns in so much better. You've got traction on the exit of the corners. A lot more stable. We're almost 6 tenths up. Now we're over 6 tenths up. Can really attack this middle sector. All the way down to 2nd gear. Lock up there, though, on the inside, so we're going to lose time coming up here, just getting the car pointed to come down this short uphill and then downhill straight, which then leads into a left-hander, and probably the most difficult corner on the track, which is it turns in. You've got to get right down to 2nd gear and then make sure again you get that good exit onto the straight. So we are 8 tenths up on this lap. It's still not that impressive at this point in the weekend, but we're finding our speed slowly but surely. We're finding our speed. Again, we lost a bit of time there. We could have gained more time, so we had to shift down because we got a bad exit from the corner. It's a bit of a scruffy lap, but we are improving on our time. And we do know there's more time to be had in this in the car, so that's something to be said. There is more time. We'll know that for later on. See, we're nearly 9/10 up now. Losing a bit of time towards the line. A 1:33.7. So it's a decent lap time. I don't know if we continue. No, we don't. We just go at the end of the session. So Fernando did a 1:33.1. So we were 6/10 or so slower than him. Again, this is practice, so it doesn't mean a lot, but this is us getting the balance of the car right and making sure that we get the car right for the qualifying the weekend. Again, there's our resource points getting built up. The only one we've done so far, the only upgrade we've done is the chassis upgrade. We haven't done the engine upgrade. We haven't done anything else other than that. So we're into practice 3, and this is where it starts to get important. This is where you've got to start putting things together, ready for qualifying. And our target lap time that the team want us to do is a 1:33.3, but you can see all the way down the straight we've lost time already. So we lost 2/10, but then into the first set of corners, you can see because of the grip we've got, we start finding time. But the problem with this track and the problem with this car at the moment is it eats the tyres. So we'll see how it does on these super soft tyres for the first for this qualifying run. And they expect us to do one lap and then go quicker and then go quicker again, I think. But it's just not possible at this point in the time because we've not improved the car enough to do that, and we're literally ragging the car around, just fighting it all the way around the track to get these lap times in. You can see we're actually quite a way up at this point. We're 4/10 up, but we're trying to be a bit careful. We end up cutting that corner because we get more oversteer than we expected. So onto the straight, it didn't actually gain us time, it lost us time because we couldn't straighten the car up. And so we lost time then. Now into this corner, nice, down to 3rd gear, up to 4th, trying to get the traction up to 5th. So we're losing time at the hill still. It's just, we seem to be down on power, or it's just the weight of the car because of the fuel. But we have just set a fastest sector 2 there for the team. So that's given us some, probably give us some extra resource points. Heading down the back straight to onto the main straight next, around the final corner. Got a lot of time coming off that final corner, but you can see we lost time during the middle lap, so we could have gone quicker. We were only just a 10th inside, but it was a bit of a scruffy lap, so we could have gained a bit more time. And now we've got to do another lap on a 1:33.023, and we've got, yeah, we didn't do it. So you can see lap 2 we couldn't manage it, so lap 3 we backed out and just completed the run by being well over the target. So we got the 1 lap in the 2nd lap. I think we just lost time in the middle sector. It's difficult because you've got to balance the car's power in a straight line, the straight line speed on the downforce, and also the downforce in the middle sector, because the middle sector is very twisty. So here, we then went on to do the tyre wear test. You could just see how horrendous the tyre wear is, how bad it is for us. We were actually setting inside the lap times. We were setting well inside, but even when we were being easy on the throttle, it was just the tyre wear was just horrific. We just couldn't get the tyre wear to go down. So instead of going for the low tyre wear and trying to go a little bit slower, we just went for it and decided to go for the lap times and see if we could hold the same lap times for a 10-lap run, and that's what I was doing here. I didn't really care about the team's tyre wear test at this point because it was never going to happen. We got a couple of greens, but then we got a load of reds. So we just went for it. We just went for it at full speed to try and keep the super soft tyres alive for 10 laps and see if we could get that speed during that period of time while we were on the same set of tyres that would be getting very worn. And at the end of this run, you'll see just how worn the tyres are. In the race, I don't think there's any chance of being on these super soft tyres for 10 laps. I think they're going to last a lot less than that. So if we can keep it for 10 laps, then that's good. Really what you want to do in this race is be on the hardest compound at the start, because being on the super soft tyres is going to put you at a disadvantage because of the tyre wear on the track. So you can see there, just absolutely red as anything. Red as those stripes on those tyres right now. Our tyre wear is not good. So we turn in, final corner, you can see we're a long way up. We're still in the 1:35s at this point, which is quite good. And we'll go a little bit later into the lap where I show you just how bad the tyre wear was. It's a little bit laggy there, but you can see 73% on the rears, 73 and 68, and then 67 and 49. Those tyres are wrecked. We wouldn't get many more laps out of those tyres, let's say that. But as you can see from practice 3 going into qualifying, we've now improved to a 1 minute 33.191, which is quite reasonable. We're only 1.5 down on the leading car, and we're within range of Verstappen and people like that. So you can see there, completing laps in practice as well gets you those extra lap points, the laps completed points, points capped at 10 laps. You get 10 points if you do 10 laps or more. So this is our agent telling us what our goal is.
Just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
So 13th or higher, that's going to happen. We'll get that, but it's the race. It's the important thing. It's the tyre wear, and you see there. I decided straight away as soon as I saw how much down on power we are down those straights, I decided, right, it's time to put the engine upgrade in place, because we're only going to come to tracks where it's got long straights like China and Sochi. They're coming next. So even Spain's going to have a long straight down, a long home straight, and also we need the power, because we haven't got. At the minute, we're having to run low downforce just to keep the car from going slow in a straight. So there's Kimi talking to his engineer there, and we're in qualifying 1 right now.
We've seen in the past how tricky the first corner is. It's not an issue in practice and qualifying. But so if you throw a lot of
the track temperature is a little bit cooler than in the practice session. So whether that helps our tyre wear is going to be another matter.
But it doesn't mean it's easy.
So you can see here we're running quite high wings, 7 and 8, just to get the turn in for that middle sector, because at the moment our downforce is pretty poor, which is then hurting us in a straight. But we have to kind of go one way or the other on this track, because if we lower the downforce, we're going to really struggle in the middle sector, because it's really lots of high speed twisty stuff. And this is qualifying 1 then. Heading down the main straight, you can see we've underfueled the car, so we've gone with 2.3 laps of fuel. This is our first lap of that run, and I'm not sure how many runs we're going to do in qualifying 1, but this is our run. Down to turn 1, all the way down to second gear. A bit of a lock-up, so we're going to lost time there. Not too much though, I don't think, because we've got ourselves turned in. Trying to get on the power as early as possible through turns 2 and 3. Heading down towards this right-hander, which you want to be taking in 3rd gear, because you don't want to be going any lower than 3rd, otherwise you're going to get the car oversteering on you. Up to 4th, and then up to 5th, 6th, and then back down to 5th and 4th, and then up to 5th and 6th quickly. Trying to get the traction all the way down to 2nd. Trying to hit that middle curb there and get on the power as early as possible, but beware of the traction coming out that corner, because you can lose the back end. You sort of got to brake in stages for this corner and get the car's front end turned to that left hand side. Get on the power, but again be wary of the traction. We're using the slipstream here from what looks like a Sauber in front of us. All the way down to 3rd, back up to 4th. We're going to shift to 5th just because we want to get the traction up here. We want to be going flat all the way through this section. We had to lift a bit because we were getting a bit of dirty air from Ericsson. Now we're right on the back of Ericsson, so we'll be getting some advantage from his slipstream here down this back straight, leading onto the main straight. As long as we can keep just this distance from Ericsson and he doesn't hold us up in this final corner, then we're going to be gaining time following him. So in practice 3 it was a 133.1, and in qualifying 1 it's a 132.8. So we found 3/10 already in qualifying 1. We're back out of it now because we've not got enough fuel, and we don't want to be following Ericsson around this lap, so we decided to back out of it and probably head back to the garage. So qualifying 1 is over, and we've actually just jumped Fernando for the first time this weekend, I think, really, because I don't think he put a competitive lap time in practice. We are nearly 2/10 quicker than Fernando now, so we've jumped him. We were comfortably through to qualifying 2. So now this is qualifying 2, and obviously this is to get into the top 10 shootout. But this is the set of tyres you're going to use for the race. So we want to put in a good lap. I think we've already done 1 run, or this may be the 2nd lap of the run. So these tyres I think might be a lap old already. Our first run was a 1:33.1, and we're trying to improve on that. Get a bit of oversteer coming out that corner, so we've lost time. But there's quite a bit of time to be gained. So down to third gear, another lock up there, so we lost a bit of time. But if this lap tells you anything, it tells you not to give up on your lap, because throughout this lap you can see we were up and then we were down and then we were up again. We start gaining time through the middle part of the lap here, as you can see. So we're losing a little bit of time on the traction there. So that's just because the tyres are falling away a little bit. But we turn into that corner. It's quite tight. We lost a bit of time again. So through this part of the lap, I think our first run was pretty impressive. But we lost time in this next corner. We lost a bit of time. So that's why we went again. So matching the first part of the lap was good. And then you can see there we're gaining absolutely tons of time coming up this hill, because I think we got a bit of wheel spin on the first lap. We gained even more time, so now we're I think it's 6/10 up near enough coming down this back straight. So it was a 1:32.8 in qualifying one. Nicely turned in. We're nearly 7/10 up, and now we're over 7/10, so we're heading towards the line, and it's going to be a 1:32.4. So we gained about 4/10 on qualifying one, so we gained another nearly half a second in that qualifying session. And interestingly, that time was set on the second lap of the run. So we actually did a 2-lap run on that set of super soft, and the quickest time was set on the second lap. So Fernando hasn't made it through. He's done a 1:33.6. I don't know what was going on there and why he's gone so slow, but it's not as quick as his Q1 time. We've made it through into the top 10. You can see the 7th place, and we're now a second off the pace. I think this lap time in qualifying 3 was probably one of my favourite lap times. It was probably one of my favourite laps in qualifying that I've ever done. The reason being is that I think it was near enough perfect, and we didn't make many mistakes at all. I don't think if we made one, it might have been, I can't remember what it was, but what we did was we came out right behind Sebastian Vettel, which was a stroke of luck. It wasn't planned or anything. And during the lap, I just thought, let's just stick with Sebastian Vettel all the way around and see how close it gets us to the front of the grid. So as long as we can keep Sebastian within like a couple of tenths or whatever, just ahead of us, you can see. As long as we can keep him in range, then we'll have a good lap time. So we nailed that corner there, and through the middle part of the lap, our high downforce is going to help us out. Obviously, down the straights, he's got more speed than us, but we're using his slipstream to keep up with him. And say through the middle sector, there's no mistakes at all. We managed to just nail everything nicely and get on the power with no real dramas, and it's just a very clean lap in terms of how well we do. So nicely turned in for that one as well. Early on the power, a little bit of correction, going down the back straight now, well into the power, and we absolutely nail the next one coming into this one. So down to third, nailed, and then we put the power down up to 5th, 6th, and then we go flat through this next one up to 7th. We're still following Sebastian. Nicely turned in. We get on the power early as well, 4th, and then 5th down the back straight. Vettel still within a second, I think, of us, ahead of us, so we're keeping up with him very, very well. Into the final corner, so there's only one more corner to go now. Nicely turned in. Can we get on the power early? Yes, we can. Up to 4th, up to 5th. Heading towards the line with 1:28, 1:29, 1:30, 1:31.9. So we finish only half a second off pole position, which is only good enough for second place, but half a second off pole. It was a really, really good lap, and I really enjoyed it. And we made it into top 10 and 7th place. We out-qualified both Williams, and we were just behind Lewis Hamilton by a 1/10 and a half or so. So a very, very good qualifying session. I'm not sure the race is going to be that good in terms of pace, but we managed to keep up with the front cars quite well in qualifying. Obviously, during the race, if we can use a bit of slipstream, that would be great. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think the other cars have got a little bit too much pace for us. Rivalry update, there we go. So we completed qualifying. Yes, we did. Qualifying in 7th position. Fernando was in 14th. We were penalty free. We also set the fastest sectors and the fastest lap compared to Fernando, which was over a second quicker than his lap. And you can see there we finished 13th or higher. So like I said, it was going to be easy to do that to get into qualifying. It's not the qualifying that's so hard lately. It's the in this career mode, it is the racing that's we can qualify quite well. Over one lap, we're quite quick.
I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
So, race goals are 11th place or higher and beat Fernando and Alonso, so it could be possible. It all really depends, like how we get off the line and whether or not anybody slipstreams us, because there's a lot of that goes on, especially with our engine power. If people are just following you in a slipstream, they've got an easy time of it because they can just keep up with you from behind you. So, and again, tyre wear is probably going to be a factor.
Something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a
So it's even colder than qualifying. You can see it's 24 degrees, so it's dropped another couple of degrees, but obviously we're getting later in the night, so
returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities.
So yeah, I think this is an opportunity for Anthony Davison to just kind of plug his that he was the first guy to test this track, I think. I might be wrong. It might be China.
Drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it absolutely eats your tyres.
Showed us many times in the past though, Anthony Davidson, that a good strategy will only take you so far. Beyond that, you need good racecraft and you need good consistency.
And a little bit of luck too, I'd say. This is one of those circuits where the safety car always seems to come out just at the right time to condense the field together and mix up the cars on different strategies.
So there's Valtteri Bottas in his Williams. Obviously now he's in Mercedes. Daniel Ricciardo getting in his car. We're all getting ready on the grid. There's Lewis Hamilton sitting in his car on the grid. There we are.
So let's do the same again today.
So that's us looking at our iPad, our race strategy there.
Let's take a look at how the cars line up. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen and Hamilton, a McLaren, Bottas, Massa and Sergio Perez, Grosjean, Gutierrez, Nico Hülkenberg and Alonso, Kvyat, Magnussen, Carlos Sainz and Marcus Ericsson, Wehrlein and Nasser, Jolyon Palmer and Rio Haryanto completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So this is the end of the formation lap. As you can see, we're lining up for 7th place on the grid. Hamilton's just ahead of us with Raikkonen right in front of us. We've got Bottas to our right, and I'm not sure who's behind us, but we're lining up on the grid for our start. And I went off board for this footage, so we've got 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're away. You can see we get a lot of wheel spin and kicking up a lot of dust. But going into turn 1, we get quite a good start, and you can see Hamilton's already looking all over the back of Nico Rosberg. Coming into turn 1, we take a position there. We squeeze up the inside of Lewis Hamilton's car, and we get it all gets a bit tight. As we turn in, the 2 cars are still there, and we kind of clip in front of Lewis Hamilton's wing. But everyone seems to get through the first corner all right, and we're heading down towards the 4th turn, I think that is, and we're right behind Nico Rosberg, and I think we've got Daniel Ricciardo just behind us. No, it's Max Verstappen. So lap 1 or 2, we make an early move on Nico Rosberg down the straight. So on the end of the first lap, we've managed to keep up with Nico Rosberg, and it's been a decent start. You can see Ricciardo leads the race, and he's then got Vettel in front of him, I think it is, and then Rosberg just behind him, and then us in 4th place. So number 23, Felix Lopes de Silva, that's us in the McLaren. And we're heading down the straight now. You can see, because we've got the super soft tyres, and we're going to get an early pace advantage on Nico, because obviously he's on the soft tyres, and it's going to kind of run away from us a little bit. He's going to come back at us later on. We're coming into turn 1. The camera angle wasn't very good, but you can see once we come out of turn 1 that we've actually just stuck the car at the inside, and we've taken the position from Nico Rosberg, and we're up to 3rd place. So this kind of goes on until the next one. You see Vettel's very close behind Ricciardo right there in that turn. I would say we're having to defend from Nico because he got a good run out at the first 2 turns, then kind of followed us. So I tried something a little bit different on this race. You can see I went from off-board to on-board. I was trying a few different things to see kind of if you guys liked it and if you thought this was a good idea. It gives you a little bit of the action. You can see the Mercedes sort of they're sandwiching Max Verstappen there, and I think it carries on up the hill. You can see it in the background. You see Vettel's still very close, and we're in 3rd place. But it carries on up the hill, and Lewis Hamilton kind of comes out worse from that. He's getting attacked by a Force India. Raikkonen then overtakes Rosberg for P4, so we've mugged Rosberg for P4 ourselves. So we took P3 off him, and he's in a P4. But now Raikkonen, you can see, he sticks the car up the inside, and again coming up this hill, you can see in the background Raikkonen's on the outside, and he somehow comes out of this one ahead. He just sticks the throttle in and keeps going, and comes out in the P4. And now we've got Raikkonen chasing us. You've got Hamilton all over the back of Rosberg as well on the super soft tyres. So the early pace is with the super softs, as you can see. Raikkonen, us, and I think Vettel might be on softs, but Ricciardo might be on super softs. And I see Hamilton from somewhere emerged into 4th place. That's why I wasn't quite sure how it happened. And this is the off-board footage. It's a really great angle of coming around this sweeping section. You can see 4 cars in a little bit of a train, and we're at the head of it. Obviously, we've got the car that's got a little bit less pace than these guys, and they're using slipstream behind us. But at this point in time, we're ahead of Raikkonen, and Raikkonen's then being followed by Hamilton, I believe it is. I think Hamilton's already got the move done on Rosberg. And down this straight, Hamilton's got a really good slipstream on Raikkonen, and we're watching it through the back of our rear wing. And Hamilton goes to the inside, and you can see he's on the inside for the next corner, but it's not really clear how he gets ahead here. But I think he just does the same as Raikkonen and sweeps around the outside. And then coming onto the back straight, you'll see that he's emerged ahead of Raikkonen. So I think he swept around the outside of Raikkonen and then ended up ahead of him, which was pretty much a carbon copy of Raikkonen's move on Rosberg. So now we've got Hamilton all over the back of us. And yeah, he powers into 3rd place. He just absolutely steam trains past us. And we just let him go in the end. There's no point trying to fight that too hard, because that Mercedes got so much power, so much more grip at this time in the race, and we can't really be affording to fight with anybody at this point, because we want to obviously finish our race in the quickest we want to finish it. And if we're fighting with people, then we're going to end up causing ourselves a slow race time in total. So you see how quickly Hamilton's pulling away, and we're on lap 7 now, so we're struggling a little bit with tyres. Obviously, in the tyre test, we did 10 laps, and the tyres were pretty much dead by the end of that. But we're still hanging on just about. And now Rosberg's tyres are coming back for him, and he's got the tyre advantage now. And we make a little bit of a mistake coming out of turn 2, and we get a bit of a wheel spin, which like throws us to the left, and Rosberg goes through and takes the position from us. But we're still running pretty well at this point in time. We're not running too badly. We pit in on lap 10, so those tyres only went 10 laps anyway, so we've got to remember they had 2 laps of qualifying on them plus the 10 laps of the race, so we actually did 12 laps. And I really did not want to see the tyre wear and how much we actually wore the tyres out. So we go onto the mediums, so we decide we're going to go for a bit of a longer stint on these medium tyres, and just see how deep into the race we can get before going to a new set of tyres towards the end of the race. We emerge from the pits ahead of Bottas, so it's as you were as we come out of the pit lane. Bottas has gone onto the faster compound, so he's gone onto the softer tyres. And we're just going to see how quickly we can get these tyres up to temperature. So we flash a couple of laps later to lap 12, and it's we're now fighting 2 Finns. We've got Raikkonen on the right and Bottas, and you can see how tight it gets in the first turn. We come out ahead. Only just, but obviously Bottas has got a bit more power than us up the straight, so he attacks us again coming into the next turn, and he gets the move done by the look of it. No, he doesn't, because we fight back. We kind of squeeze ourselves around the outside. Bottas has got the power though, and he steams away from us into the next set of turns. And now we're kind of looking all over the back of Bottas's car, seeing if we can find a way back through, but he's made that car so wide, and now he's ahead and he's on the better tyres. He stops us on the apex there. He makes a little bit of a blocking move there for us, but yeah, we fought as hard as we could without causing a crash, and now we're kind of going to just have to settle in behind Bottas. He's on the faster rubber, and he's probably going to pull away a little bit. So we're heading down the straight. We're behind Magnussen. We're now on lap 15. So we've been on these tyres for 5 or 6 laps. We've now got to temperature, but we've got Raikkonen looking to go past us, and Massa gets involved. Raikkonen locks up. We're coming to turn 1. Look how tight this gets. We somehow managed to hold on to it, just sweeping around the outside. And yeah, that Renault's holding on to it as well, that position. I think he's going to have to get out of the way soon. We make a move on Julian Palmer for 14th place now. You see, he's just pulling ahead of us. Even with DRS, he still managed to hold on, so we have to do it under the brakes. And now we're up to 14th place, and there's Bottas just ahead of us, so he hasn't really pulled ahead that much. But on lap 18, you see Bottas has pulled ahead of us a little bit now. Kimi moves ahead of us. Just too much power down the straight, and we can't really fight it off. He's got a faster car. He's in the Ferrari. We're both on the same set of tyres. His car's probably like kinder on the tyres as well. It's probably quite kind compared to ours. He's got just a better car. So Felipe Massa now, we're on lap 14. This seems like a race of going backwards at the moment. He's on a set of super soft tyres. Look at the speed advantage he's got coming into turn 1. He absolutely just... He's miles ahead of us. He's probably like 50, 60 metres ahead before he even reaches the turn. And so again, we just settle in behind Massa, and we're just trying to kind of continue our own race. But then Perez with that Mercedes engine just flies past us into 7th place. I say we're just hanging onto positions now. We're going backwards all the way. Lap 35, we've got Fernando Alonso now on a set of soft tyres, so he's decided to go quite a short stint. We make a mistake coming down the straight with the DRS, which allows Fernando to squeeze through. At this point in the race, we're not going to fight him too hard. We just let him go past, and just we're going to follow him because he's on those soft tyres anyway, and we are teammates. So at this point, it's who can finish the highest. So on lap 35, there's a long way to go yet. There might be a safety car or something like that. So Fernando goes through, and then we kind of just settle in behind him. But he's not quick enough, so we get behind him, and on lap 36, we take the position back. Hulkenberg just sails up the inside, so we have to kind of brake quite late and take the position. And I think Fernando gets a little bit mugged by Hulkenberg there, but then he comes back and gets the position. So lap 37, come into the pit lane, get these medium tyres off, and we're going to go on the soft tyres. I think it is the end of the race, so you can see the drop off there. We're into the 1 minute 40s now with the pit stop. We're currently in 12th place, but there's a few cars going past us. So we're on a faster compounder tyre now, so these should last us the end. It's going to be around about 19-20 laps. But if we get lapped, then we'll have to go 1 lap less anyway. So we should be okay for tyre wear. So out of the pits we come. No one's anywhere near us at this point in time, so 0% tyre wear. That's what we want to see. We want to see brand new rubber. We want to see our tyres so we can make some progress. And speaking of progress, here we are overtaking Carlos Sainz. He puts a fight up for it though. He puts a fight up for the position. We have to run him out a little bit wide, and now we've moved up the position past Carlos, and that's lap 40 we're on now. So lap 45, we're in 9th place, but Hulkenberg he's just so much quicker. He's on the super soft tyres. There's only 12 laps to go, but Hulkenberg is just so quick on these tyres, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to fight him off to the end of the race unless his tyres suddenly go off, but I don't think that's going to happen. So down this straight, and I love this camera angle that I've got on this video here. Hulkenberg is just hunting us down. You can see him from behind there, closing up to us. Got so much more grip. We've been on these tyres for around about 8 laps or so, I think it is now, and he's been on the super soft for a lot less than that. And you can see he's just really quick in the corners, and obviously we're running high downforce. We're running 7.8 wings, and he's got a Mercedes engine, and he's probably running something similar, or even 6.6 wings, but he's just so much quicker. You see there we climb over the curb a little bit, but heading down this main straight now, it's going to be like taking candy from a baby. Hulkenberg just pulls out, and he's going to be so far ahead of us even before turn 1. We try to take a bit of slipstream, and we run around the outside of him, so we actually fight back and take the position back. So even though Hulkenberg was well ahead of us in the braking zone, we managed to fight back and take the position back from Hulkenberg. Again, I don't know how long this is going to last for, but this is an absolutely beautiful overhead shot from the camera. Heading through the middle sector, these sweeping corners, you can see how much Hulkenberg's going to close up to us with his extra grip. He's just able to take more speed, but then we've got a little bit better traction coming out those corners, and then we turn the nose in. You can see he's so close. He's within a couple of tenths of us all around this middle sector. And yeah, we're heading into a really important traction zone. You can see as we put the power down how close Hulkenberg is, and he's just going to power down this straight with DRS. We haven't got the aid of DRS to defend. So we're running rich mix, I think, but up the inside he goes. We try to sweep back and take the position back up the hill, but Hulkenberg cuts across and hits our front wheel, which then spins us off. Which I honestly think that was the moment where we kind of, it cost us quite a lot of time, because you can see there we lost 3 seconds just by being knocked off the track. And that 3 seconds then puts us into the clutches of Felipe Massa and people behind us. At the moment we're in 10th place and there's only 11 laps to go, but yeah, Grosjean goes past us again on the same sort of strategy that Hulkenberg was on. He just flies past us again. You can see how far ahead he is. He's got a Ferrari engine in the back of that. We do try to fight back a little bit and just settle in behind him. But yeah, because of those 3 seconds we've lost, we've kind of been put into the clutches of the other guys behind us. And Alonso has a look. I think Massa's already gone past earlier on, and you see Alonso and us, we bash wheels with each other. Massa's already made its way through, and heading down this straight. It's a fight between us and Alonso for the last 2 laps. It is an absolutely amazing fight, these last 2 laps we had. At this point we'd already lost 11th place, which is our team goal, so now it was just honours. It was literally for honours in the team. And Fernando had gone for the same strategy as Hulkenberg and Grosjean, so he was extremely quick. Felipe was quick in front of us, but he was holding us up a little bit. As you can see, we were actually trying to get past Felipe at this point. We were trying to get 11th place back, but we had Alonso all over the back of us. So, and you can see Felipe is going so slow in that section, Massa, that we lock up, which puts Alonso all over the back of us. And down this straight, you can see we've both got DRS, and I'm kind of just trying to think, should I cover this move off from Alonso, or shall I just wait for it and see if he makes a move before I do anything? You can see traction is very low at this point. We're on lap 56. Been on these tyres for about 18 or 19 laps. We're still 11th place is just there. It's right in front of us. It's so tantalisingly close, but we can't get it. Felipe's just got the power down the straight, and he's got the grip. And Alonso's having another look at us. Kevin Magnussen's now out of the race, so he's retired. I don't know why, what's happened to his car, but he's gone. Heading down the straight. Fortunately, we've got DRS from Felipe. So, yeah, we're heading on to lap 57, and it's now literally battle for team number 1, because we're not going to get that position from Felipe unless he makes a mistake. And into turn 1, we come right up behind Massa. And as we put the power down, coming through turn 2 and 3, we run wide, which then gives Alonso a chance to have a run at us. And you can see we're struggling for grip. Alonso goes up the inside, but we just about outbrake him and squeeze around the outside, give him a little bit of a tap as we go around and take position back. So back up into P11 or P12. So there's only a few more corners to go, and Alonso is just harrying us. He's putting pressure all over us the whole time during these final laps. Just in the background there was the Renault of Kevin Magnussen as we went past. See, Felipe is just there in front of us. This is how close we were to securing our first team goal and hitting 11th place that they wanted, and it just didn't happen. And I can look back and say that those 3 seconds that Nico Hulkenberg cost us with that little touch when he cut us up, that has really cost us now, because those 3 seconds could have been the difference between us finishing in 11th or finishing in 12th, which is where we're going to finish right now. And Alonso all over the back of us. He's looking for the way through. So in terms of this, at least we're ahead of Alonso, whereas in Australia we were behind him before he retired. But this race we've managed to be ahead of him until the very last part of the race, so it's a massive improvement. As we come towards the line, just trying to get the power down, there's only this little short straight to go. The fireworks are going off and we're heading towards the finish line. It's 12th place, I think it was. Alonso just behind us, and the engineer telling us it wasn't good enough. Alonso now passing us into turn 1 just to say, I could have got past you, mate, but I'm now past you into the first turn. One more lap and I would have had you. So I think Lewis Hamilton took the win. So despite a difficult start, Lewis takes the win. Another win for Mercedes. 12th place for us, just outside our team objective. So we'll be looking to improve on that in the next race. And yeah, at least we beat Fernando. That was the most important thing. Nico Hulkenberg there taking 9th place. Obviously a very good finish for him. So there's your podium. Hamilton, Rosberg and Vettel in the top 3 spots. And there's Hamilton lifting the trophy. Still no points for us, just outside the points, so we'll we'll be hoping that engine upgrade the next race does help us out a little bit. And the next race is going to be China. So yeah, I hope the engine really does help us out, because there's obviously the longest back straight on the calendar is in China, so we've really got to improve the power of this car.
Here's how things look in the
And the other good news is at least we didn't get lapped. So you can see we're 1 minute 27 behind, and we were within a couple of seconds of getting 10th place. Actually, you can see we were only 2 seconds behind Romain Grosjean. So it wasn't too bad a performance. It could have been better. Like I said, we really cost ourselves with that battle with Hulkenberg at the end. But yeah, at least we didn't get lapped. So it's been a big improvement on the last race, and I think we improved by 20 or 30 seconds, and that's just with the improvements on the car, which was the chassis weight upgrade, and just also getting a better setup for the car. So resource points, as you can see, we got 25 for being for passing the session, 25 for 100% clean laps apparently, even though we kind of got hit by Hulkenberg. We lost 5 positions, so we got no points for that, and we were penalty free. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Fernando gets the fastest lap here, because he was on the super softs at the end, so you can see 1.4 seconds quicker in the final sector, so he actually got quite a few points, but he did go on the super softs at the end. So yeah, this is our driver rivalry. We lost a point for not finishing 11th or higher, but we also gained a point for beating Fernando Alonso, so we actually were as we were. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. The next race will be in China, and that'll be out this next week coming. Thanks for watching, guys.